So do your research. And I know that Sandra talked about this earlier, but it's so important to understand the differences in the types of institutions you look for. So step one is for you to dig deep. And even in your notebooks right now, I want you to think about, what are my priorities? The things that Jenna just talked about. What are the things that really stick out as things that matter to me? When you're doing your research, think about the application process. When are my deadlines? When do they start? Is it always a fall, spring, and summer? That's generally how most semesters work. If you have somebody that's on quarters, that might shift slightly. But when can I apply? What do I need to have when I apply? The application process and research process, and again, Education USA will walk you through all those pieces of what to think about, but that is going to help set your timeline, and some things just may not be available anymore. What I will say about the application process, when you see a deadline, don't assume it's a deadline. That is one thing that I think nobody ever really talks about. Same thing with financial funding. Always ask if there's an institution that you are so excited about and you really want to go to, but it says the published deadline is passed. Always ask. All they're going to say is no, you have to apply for the next year, and nothing is impacted negatively. And then you get yourself in front of people. So if a deadline is passed and you are still really excited about that institution, please reach out, because I think that is important for you to know that you have that ability. And a lot of US institutions have a lot of flexibility around their application deadlines. Acceptance rate. This will help you understand when it relates to what's the likelihood that I'll get accepted. That does not mean you should not apply. I'm just saying understand so that you can then build, and we'll talk about this a little bit, you can then build sort of priority. Here's my 2 to 3 top, I would love to go there, but it might be a stretch because of their acceptance rate. Here's I'm pretty confident. And then here are my sort of safety schools, just so that I know that I have some confidence in these schools. What does the student population look like? Generally, all US institutions have to publish this somewhere. Now, they may not even make it easy for you to find it, but what is the student population like? Is it majority undergraduate? Is it majority graduate? Do they have a lot of international students? Do they not have a lot of international students? So look for that information. Not that it's going to necessarily, one is better than the other, but understand the student population, because based on the student population is also going to be the resources that they have available to you. So keep in mind that those two are very connected. Graduate student connections. In your research process, do not be shy about asking to talk to a current graduate student. You will learn more from current graduate students than you will from most things on a website. You'll learn way more about the student life, the culture on campus, so that you can A, start building a connection to somebody who can help you transition into that institution, but then B, really get an insider scoop. Do not be afraid of asking for a current student or a recent alum to have a conversation with for schools that you're really passionate about. Responsiveness of faculty and staff. This is something that I think is really important. If schools are not getting back to you, that does say something. So I do want to say that doesn't mean that they should be getting back to you in an hour, because there's a lot going on. But if you're waiting 3 weeks for a response, that concerns me, because if you're waiting 3 weeks for a response for you as a student interested in coming to their institution, are they going to do the same thing when you're on campus? And that's coming from my student affairs background. If we're not responding to our students, we're not doing our jobs. And so I do have a little bit of a bias there, but if they're not responding back to you in a time and really taking care to appreciate your questions and to support you, then that sends to me a red flag. So I want to bring that up because I think it's important in the process. Funding opportunities, and we'll break these down later, but funding opportunities are going to be important. And again, don't be shy about asking, saying, what are the scholarships that are available to your international students? What are the scholarships available for new and continuing students? Because those can be different as well. Graduation rates and alumni careers. These aren't always published, but it's important for you to understand graduation rates and alumni careers can give you a good kind of view into how they're supporting their students on campus. So getting back to that responsiveness, what are they doing to support your success on campus as well? Electives and program requirements. Depending on the field that you're interested in, always kind of understand your options as it relates to elective and program requirements. Why this matters in your research process is how much can you tailor your degree when you're on campus to what you're passionate about. Is there an opportunity for you to take an extra course in something that is so unique to something in the United States that might be interesting to you? How much flexibility do you have? That, again, may not be a priority, but knowing that in your research process is important. Extracurricular opportunities is critical, particularly as an international student. If you've never come to the United States, how are they helping you get out there and learning the culture of the certain location that you're in? That's really a big part of coming and studying abroad, is to get to know another place. And so what is the school doing, or what are the International Student Office doing to help support that process? Finally, go with your gut. I think that we forget a lot of our own intuition in the research process, and I think it's important for you to, if you feel really great about an institution, you're going to get a great education probably in most places that you go. A lot of it depends on you feeling right about the place that you're going to.